Science Olympiad Class 7. Respiration in Organisms.
Internal system.
Introduction.
There are a number of organs involved in respiration, circulation, and excretion processes. They together make up the three systems, namely respiratory, circulatory, and excretory. These systems are found in all living organisms, though with varying levels of complexity. Let us learn more about them. Difference between breathing and respiration are tabulated. Difference between breathing and respiration are tabulated. Difference between breathing and respiration are tabulated. Respiration in plants. Since all living organisms breathe, so plants too breathe and respire. In plants also, food that is manufactured in the form of starch needs to be broken down to release energy. So, respiration is a vital function in plants. Respiration is aerobic and is represented as starch, sugar, plus oxygen gives energy, plus carbon dioxide, plus water. In plants, breathing takes place through tiny holes or openings under the leaves called stomata. Stomata traps in air and the exchange of gases takes place inside the plant cells. Oxygen is absorbed and carbon dioxide is given out. Structure of stomata. In plants, each stomata is surrounded by two special kidney-shaped cells called guard cells. These guard cells can also carry out photosynthesis due to the presence of chloroplasts. Guard cells are further surrounded by several subsidiary epidermal cells. The whole structure of stomata, along with the guard cells and subsidiary cells, is called the stomatal apparatus. Plant roots typically take in oxygen that is available in the small spaces between soil particles and give off carbon dioxide. This process is called root respiration. Breathing mechanism in human beings. As we inhale, the air follows the route given. Air is exchanged in the alveoli, and when we exhale, the carbon dioxide-rich air follows the reverse route, finally moving out through the nose. Only a very thin membrane separates the air in the alveolus from the blood in the capillaries. Oxygen diffuses into blood and carbon dioxide diffuses out. The air enters the trachea after passing through the nose and larynx. It carries the air to the bronchus. The air then moves into the bronchioles and finally into the alveoli. The pulmonary artery brings deoxygenated blood from the heart and exchange of gases takes place at the alveoli. The pulmonary vein returns oxygenated blood to the heart. Cellular respiration. Oxygen absorbed in the alveoli is picked up by the blood. Blood has a red pigment called hemoglobin. Oxygen combines with hemoglobin and is carried as oxyhemoglobin to all parts of the body. On the other hand, carbon dioxide is picked up from all the body parts and is transported by the blood to the lungs. Transport of substances. The following are some of the substances that need to be transported. Food to all the cells where it will be oxidized for the release of energy, oxygen which is required for the oxidation process, medicine to the site of infection, antibodies of the immune system for repair, waste products formed as a result of life activities which need to be removed from the cells. Transport in humans. In humans, there are tens of thousands of kilometers of blood vessels. This ensures that each cell of the body is within diffusion distance of a capillary. The human circulatory system consists of a thick muscular organ called the heart, blood vessels, They are of three kinds: arteries, veins, and capillaries, blood. Blood vessels. Blood flows through our body in a complex system of tubes called blood vessels. There are three types of blood vessels: arteries, capillaries, and veins. Arteries carry oxygenated blood from our heart to the tissues and organs of our body. Capillaries connect arteries to veins. Veins carry the deoxygenated blood back to our heart, which is then pumped into the lungs for oxygenation. Distinguish between arteries and veins. Capillaries. These are thin-walled blood vessels and form a network of extremely tiny blood vessels between arteries and veins. The walls of the capillaries are so thin that diffusion of gases and chemical substances takes place very easily. Fact: not all animals have red blood. The color of blood depends upon the type of pigment within the blood that transports oxygen from the lungs to the tissues. Earthworms, leeches, and insects have green blood. Starfish and many other invertebrates, animals without a backbone, have clear or yellowish blood. Lobsters and crabs have blue blood because it contains copper instead of iron. The blood. Blood is a connective tissue that runs through the entire body. It forms a medium through which nutrients, important gases, water and waste products are transported inside the organism. The blood flows in blood vessels, namely arteries, veins, and capillaries. Blood constitutes about 8% of the body weight. An average male body has about 5 to 6 liters of blood. Blood consists of several cells suspended in a fluid called plasma, which is a straw-colored liquid. Components. Red blood cells. These are flat and disc-like in shape with a depression in the center. Red blood cells are manufactured in the marrow of bones. They contain the red pigment hemoglobin. This hemoglobin helps to transport oxygen as it easily combines with it to form oxyhemoglobin. White blood cells. These are larger than the red blood cells but do not have hemoglobin. They move actively and are amoeboid in nature as shown. They protect the body against disease-causing microorganisms, hence are an important part of our immune system. Blood platelets. These are small, irregularly shaped and much smaller than the red blood cells. They are colorless and without a nucleus as shown. Blood platelets play a very important role in the clotting of blood. Blood transfusion. There are many times when, due to an operation or heavy bleeding in an accident, one needs extra blood to be supplied externally to one's body. This is done so by the process of blood transfusion. Blood transfusion involves a donor whose blood is given to another person, the recipient. Blood groups play an important part in blood transfusions. There are 4 types of blood groups in human beings: blood group A, B, AB, and O. Blood group O is called a universal donor, which means a person with blood group O can donate blood to any of the blood groups, that is, A, B, AB, or O. Blood group AB is called universal recipient, which means that a person with the blood group AB can receive blood from any of the 4 groups. It is very important to match the blood groups correctly before transfusion. A mismatch can lead to clotting of the blood and the death of the recipient. Excretion in animals. In lower animals such as amoeba, paramecium, hydra, etc., the body gets rid of all kinds of body waste by direct diffusion through the cell membranes. Animals such as earthworms, insects, and leeches have tubular structures that help to get rid of body wastes. In higher animals, vertebrates, there is a well-developed excretory system consisting of specialized organs such as the kidneys that help in the removal or nitrogenous wastes and carbon dioxide is released while breathing out. Dialysis. Kidneys work in pairs, but they are so efficient that even one can enable you to lead a healthy life. In case both the kidneys of the patient are damaged, there are two options available: regular dialysis or a kidney transplant. Dialysis is a method for removing toxic substances from the blood when the kidneys are unable to do so. The dialysis machine is also called an artificial kidney. Blood from the radial artery of the arm is led through the dialysis machine, where urea and excess salts are removed. The purified blood is then led back to the patient's body through a vein in the same arm. In a kidney transplant, at least one of the diseased kidneys is replaced with a healthy kidney from a donor. Types of respiration in animals are given in the table.